In this video, we're going to explore how to handle bad or bogus leads in kvCORE. Let's start off first by exploring the different kinds of bad or bogus leads. So the types that we've identified are leads that have bad or missing contact info, leads where the contact claims they didn't ask for info. Maybe the contact says they are just browsing and you're getting too many of these just browsings. Maybe the contact just doesn't qualify to buy a house. Maybe they only want rentals or can't get approved for a mortgage. Or a common problem is that you're generating a lot of leads and it feels like a lot of people aren't responding. So you conclude that that lead pool is bad or bogus. Let's start with bad or missing contact info. The first thing you're going to want to do is definitely check for a typo in the email. This does happen. You'll see things like contact@gmail.com or contact@yahoo.com. So common email extensions could be misspelled, and if you see maybe a name spelled differently, just try to change that contact record in kvCORE, and sometimes that'll fix that problem. Fake phone numbers do happen. People will give you a fake phone number, so if it's obviously fake or you call it and it's wrong, just delete the number but leave the email live. You can still do something with an email. If it is clearly bogus, if Mickey Mouse is signing up or the F word or other profanity terms are signing up for your website, just archive and delete it and don't think too much about it. Just move on. These things do happen in online lead generation. People are people and will do those kinds of things. If it's not clearly bogus, just treat it like every other lead. So just set automatic property alerts for every lead. Adjust your campaigns, whatever system you have going for all your leads, leave them on, and include those leads in email or text blasts. Meaning, if you think the email looks bad, just go ahead and let it run anyway until you know for sure that it isn't getting through. Or go ahead and try to change the email, delete the phone number, do the things I just mentioned, and let the system run. Don't worry too much about it. Next, we have where the contact claims they didn't ask for info. Now, this is a common situation with products like Property Boost and Facebook lead form ads, where the collection of the name, email, phone numbers happens on Facebook rather quickly. It is there in a form for the contact to see, but they may be doing it so quickly on their phone, they might not even realize that they've submitted their contact info. So if somebody tells you, I don't remember doing that, you could just politely remind them and say, oh, okay, you opted in to look at information about 123 Main Street from Facebook, and Facebook collected your info. You can just explain it to them what happened. It could also be that the person really doesn't remember, and it could have been a spouse or a family member on the same machine. I'm logged into my wife's Facebook account sometimes and vice versa and do things, and then later realize that I was in that other account. You've probably done the same thing, right? So it could have just been an honest mistake. It could have been somebody else in their house or on that machine that did it. It could just be, and this is probably more frequent, that they just don't want to talk to you right now and they're brushing you off. Oh, I didn't ask for info. That's an easy thing to say if your life is hectic and busy and some salesperson's calling you, right? So it could just be that. Just apologize, say, oh, sorry about that, hang up the phone. Now, what do you do about this? Well, it's up to your discretion, but you might go ahead and turn off aggressive smart campaigns that keep texting and emailing and asking the person, if they want to do stuff. Maybe you tone it down a little bit, but I would also always leave on automated property alerts. We recommend you set up property alerts for every prospect. Even if you don't know much about them, just keep it very broad in their market. The worst thing that'll happen is they'll reply back and say, hey, I don't want these alerts, or hey, I only want a 3-bedroom or a 2-bedroom. In either case, you know more about them and you're generating a conversation about real estate if they tell you to adjust the alerts. So leave your auto alerts on. And if somebody does explicitly ask you to unsubscribe, they say, hey, don't send me anything again. Well, common sense says go ahead and unsubscribe them. But in the meantime, if they say they didn't ask for info, just leave your normal follow-up in place, but proceed accordingly. Turn off the aggressiveness, but leave on the things like auto alerts that may get them to reply to you in the future. Now, what do you do if the contact says they're just browsing? Again, they might not be ready to talk to a salesperson today. That's an easy out. Some of our built-in scripts ask the person if they're just browsing, and those are designed to just get people to start talking to you. If somebody says, hey, I'm just browsing, you can say, cool, what are you browsing for, and take it from there. And just keep in mind that they might not be ready to talk to a salesperson today, but they very well could be ready tomorrow when they get a listing alert or something, or they see a house down the street for sale that they suddenly are hot to trot on. They're going to call the first real estate agent that comes to mind, and that could be you. So just assume that they'll become ready at some point. They won't be just browsing. So what do you do? Same thing. Just leave your follow-ups on, and if they do happen to explicitly ask for an unsubscribe, go ahead and honor that. But just leave the normal follow-ups on. Treat them the same. Now, what if the contact doesn't qualify? Well, just be cool, right? And one thing to think about if you're getting a lot of people who don't qualify for a mortgage right now, or maybe the credit score is bad, right? They know other people who will buy or sell in your market soon. So you still want to build top of mind status for the referral factor. So be very cool to that person. Oh, sorry, you don't qualify right now. I'm going to leave you on to get alerts just so you can see what's on the market for when you become ready. Is that fine? Most people say, yeah, go ahead and do that. Point them in the direction of your lender. If you have a credit repair specialist or somebody you know who can help them, point them in that direction. Just help them out. Be cool. Now, what do? Again, just put on a specific smart campaign maybe that you build for not yet qualified people. You can do that where you just go into kvCORE, you go into the right side of their contact record and you change the smart campaign. Maybe you just set up some future calls to check in on them. Maybe, you say, hey, I'm going to check in on you in 6 months, and you just make a marketing account. You check on them again in 6 months, and again, set up deal listing alerts anyway. So a contact that doesn't qualify isn't necessarily a bad or bogus lead, because they could refer people to you in the future, or they could become qualified. What do you do if contacts aren't responding? Well, the first thing that you might want to look at is your initial text message and your email messages that are going out, specifically from smart campaigns. A lot of times, just changing the wording in an initial text can do the trick. So think about those first few things that are going out. Are they turning people off, or are they simple enough that they elicit some kind of reply from the person? Make your messaging more about them, not you. I've seen a lot of agents who will kind of talk about all their designations, their experience, all this other stuff, write a nice 4 or 5 paragraph welcome email, but doesn't really talk too much about the prospect and what they're looking to do. In general, a shorter intro email that kind of talks about the reason they engaged with a quick one-line follow-up is going to do you good. So something like, hey, here's that open house list you just requested. Just curious, are you actively looking for a house right now, or just browsing? There's that just browsing again, but something like that just to get them to talk to you, and that might get you more response than being a little more professional, so to speak, with your introduction. Now, what do you do here? Again, you just follow the system. You set up auto listing alerts, you set up smart campaigns, and you include these people who aren't responding. Just keep sending emails and text blasts about your new listings, about any webinars you're doing, about any events that are going on, anything you're sending out to everybody, just sending to people who aren't responding, because it is very, very common. Just ask anybody who's been using kvCORE for a while. It is very, very common for leads that stay dormant for weeks, months, and years to surface and suddenly become hot. It is very common for somebody to opt into a real estate offer, not be quite ready, but to open all your emails, to occasionally see your name connected to an email, to get a few of your text messages, never respond to you, and then 2-3 years down the line, when they are ready, they will call you because you're the person who's been following up consistently for years and years and years. So keep that in mind. Just do the normal things, and don't consider a contact that is not responding a bad or bogus lead. So closing thoughts here, definitely allow for at least 50 to 100 leads before giving up on a lead source. 100 is better. It is a numbers game. Even 1%, if you do the math, even if 1% of the leads you generate, 1 in 100, turns into business, the numbers really do work in most cases. If you're only spending $10 a lead, 1 in 100 means it's costing you $1,000 for that transaction, and that is better than a referral fee in most cases. So it is a numbers game. Don't give up on a lead source because you got 5 leads and 3 of them said that they didn't mean to opt in, or they're just browsing. That is not bad or bogus leads. That is not a big enough sample size yet. So keep that in mind. Do treat all leads the same. The rich uncle phenomenon, right? They may know somebody. They might have a rich uncle who's moving to town who needs that $1 million listing, right? So be cool to everybody. And then final thoughts. If you still don't want to follow any of this other advice here, I can't help myself. Maybe I shouldn't do this, but definitely Google "The Leads Are Weak, Glengarry." There's a quick video there for you to check out. Just having a little fun. I'm just kind of kidding around. But if you want to check that out, you can. You probably already know what I'm talking about. But in general, yes, there are ways to handle bad or bogus leads with kvCORE. For the most part, just calling those leads bad or bogus means you're probably on the wrong path. You're looking at it the wrong way. You're not playing the numbers game. You should be expecting a certain percentage of leads to give you bad contact info, or to just not be ready now. The thing that all top producers know is that the success comes over the long haul by sticking to it and treating everybody the same in a very cool way. And that's when this business becomes a whole lot of fun. So thanks for watching here today. kvCORE video about how to handle bad or bogus leads.